listening to Kids Newsroom, you know only and #1 children's news show right here on SABC2, where you belong. We take children very seriously and keep them informed about everything that is happening in their country and around the world. Today, I am running the show with none other than the one and only Leah Vante.
Good afternoon, Butle.
How are you?
I'm feeling well, and yourself?
Good.
That's good. Dit is weer eens tijd, your one-stop favorite kids show voor al die jongste nuus, vermaak en natuurlijk die optredens waarvan jullie zo bijhou. Ik is Levante, ook bekend als Vante, en dit is een nieuwe maand en een nieuwe week. So keep it locked right here on SABC2 because Butle and I will be providing you with the latest scoop. Let's go!
We talk more about tutorials and online supplemented learning, unpacking all of it with your favorite TikTok content creator and tutor later on in the show. You don't want to miss it.
Young children from Soweto embark on a hike to develop character and learn more about the environment.
Hala, Miss Teen Universe will be hosting their first ever pageant right here in our own country, South Africa. For more news, tune into our full bulletin. Let's start the bulletin and check out what's happening in our country.
In news making headlines around our country, we begin in the Eastern Cape. The academic activities at Kuyasa Senior School in Timbaza have been disrupted after the school's roof blew off. This has caused panic and frustration amongst pupils and parents. The school governing body has accused the Provincial Education Department of dragging its feet in addressing the matter as the roof fell in November last year and has not been fixed. Meanwhile, in KwaZulu-Natal, learners in the Dududu municipality in the South Coast can now be able to get to school after missing the first week since schools opened. This comes after heavy rains dismantled an already dilapidated bridge, thereby preventing learners to cross over. Now, the municipality, working with provincial government, has since built a new bridge and has been officially opened. And lastly, in Cape Town, weather authorities say the current wildfire season is stretching fire services across the province to the limit. This comes after the province has experienced an extremely busy fire season, while the likelihood of more wildfires in the coming months is a concern. Since December last year, 837 wildfires were reported to the Provincial Disaster Management Center, while a total of 9 fires were classified as major wildfires. The province is hard at work with limiting the spread of the fire, and we urge all children in Cape Town to be vigilant. And on that note, that's all the news we have for you around our country.
Kom ons kyk na wat reg oor die wêreld gebeur.
In our news around the world, we start off in the Middle East, where Israel continues with its campaign against Hamas in Gaza's Khan Yunis area, whilst bad weather also hit displaced Palestinians seeking refuge in the north. People have been evacuating after what they described as demands that they received through flyers dropped on them by the Israel army. Residents reported heavy aerial and tank fire across Khan Yunis. There are 2 hospitals in the area. Some of those who escaped are worried about their children, who are caught out in the cold with not much protection against the elements. We hope the conflict is resolved soon. In Cameroon, about a week into the country's groundbreaking combat against malaria, more women are visiting clinics with their children for the world's first routine vaccine program against the disease. 40 years in the making, the World Health Organization approved RTS-S vaccine developed by British pharmaceutical GSK. In Africa, malaria kills nearly 500,000 children under the age of 5 each year. After successful trials in Ghana and Kenya, Cameroon is the first country to administer doses through a routine program that 19 other countries aim to roll out this year. About 6.6 million children in these countries are targeted for malaria vaccination through 2024 and 2025. Off to North America, where the California Science Center launched the Endeavour space shuttle and placed it along 2 booster rockets and an external fuel tank. The operation began at 9:30 in the evening and lasted 9.5 hours. The Endeavour space shuttle is 37 meters long, weighs 80.7 kilograms, and has a wingspan of 23 meters. It will be part of an exhibition in the future Samuel Oskin Air and Space Center, an expansion of the California Science Center. Finally, still in the United States, children who learn to write on illuminated screens are now going back to basics. Starting this year, California grade school students are required to learn cursive handwriting after the skill had fallen out of fashion in the computer age. Experts say learning cursive improves cognitive development while improving reading comprehension and developing fine motor skills. While teaching a cursive lesson this week, teacher Keller gave out gentle tips to her students such as lighten up a little, do it gently. An eraser is our best friend. That loop is wonderful. I love that loop. During a recent visit to the school library, Keller said one student grew animated upon seeing an image of the United States Constitution written in 1787, remarking it's cursive. Sophia Guardian, 9, 4th grade.
Yes, I love it.
Why?
Because I just feel like it's just fancier how to write, and it's just like fun to learn, like new letters.
That's all we have in our wrap this week.
Climate change is defined as the shift in the climate around the world driven by human activities, mainly greenhouse gas emissions caused by burning fossil fuels. Sadly, global warming and climate change will affect us in our future. Recently in Alexander, hundreds of kids gathered and protested to raise awareness against pollution, global warming and climate change. Let's see what went down.
A call for action against climate change. International organization Save the Children organized a special protest against climate change this past weekend. Climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperature and weather patterns. These shifts may be natural, but since the 1800s, human activities have been the main driver of climate change, mainly due to the burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. Our friends at Save the Children say the community plays a huge role in contributing to climate change.
Climate change is something that is around our world, or rather around South Africa, that is affecting us as children. We want these Department of Education to educate us at an early age so that we can understand that what is climate change. We should know the definitions of climate change. We should know what are the effects of climate change at an early age, so that when we are adults now, we should understand more information about climate change.
Swi na nkoka ngopfu ku vanhu va dyondza hi climate change hikuva climate change yi affecta munhu un'wana na un'wana na hambi u ri n'wana hikuva sweswi loko ko na mpfula leyikulu tiyindlo ti khukhuriwa vana va ta sala va ri hava tibuku ta vona to ya xikolweni mikarhi yin'wani ku nga kuma ku vatswari va vona va lova, they can get displaced, ku nga humelela swilo swo tala naswona climate change i mhaka leyikulu ngopfu hikuva it not only affects a person's social lifestyle, it can affect every part.
The main crisis in South Africa, which is climate change. So we saw that climate change is impacting us in a very harmful way. We have seen the effects of it, the extreme weather patterns, and we have seen how it is affecting us, causing malnutrition and several diseases. So as children, we have gathered here today to make a change, to promote climate change, to promote the fight against it.
The march started in Rialogile High School all the way to Kwabegilanga Secondary School, with hundreds of kids taking part in the 10-kilometer protest. What a wonderful cause. We hope that you will play your part in fighting pollution and climate change.
Let's quickly go to an ad break. When we come back, we talk all things that keep us on top of our game in this academic year. Don't go anywhere. Siyabuya ngoku.
Welcome back. You are still watching Kids Newsroom right here on SABC2, SABC Lihaye, as well as SABC Plus. Angry and frustrated parents in Alexandra, north of Johannesburg, are demanding placement for their children. Almost 200 children in the area could not experience their first day at school. This is due to a backlog in the Gauteng school placement process. Given Motsuyane filed this report for us.
While the school bell rang to usher into the new academic year, scores of learners in Gauteng are still waiting for seats in the classroom, while 21,000 pupils have already been placed in various schools. In Alexander, there is much dissatisfaction. Parents gathered outside the Alexander Community Center, frustrated with the last hope of securing space at the schools of their choice around the area. The Gauteng Education Department uses an online system for placement of students. These parents feel the system needs to be overhauled.
3 weeks.
I've been looking for a school for my child for 3 weeks. I've been coming here. When I go to the school, I don't get any help. They say it's full. I suggested they get containers.
Some students were placed in schools kilometers away from where they reside.
It hurts me because I also want to go to school. When I see other children going to school, it hurts.
Next Monday, we do not know anything. We don't have notes. If it happens for us to write exams, we would not know anything. We are being left behind.
These families are earnestly waiting their child to have a seat in the classroom.
They should allow us to apply at schools of our own choice because their online system is failing. Our kids are placed at schools that we don't know of. If my child is placed at a school far from home, how will I be able to get them there?
The Provincial Education Department has been working with districts and schools to ensure every learner can begin the academic year.
Parents need to ensure that they register their kids at school on time. Even if you're from another province coming to Gauteng, you need to ensure that you register on time.
It is hoped that within the next few weeks, no learner in Gauteng will be left out of the classroom. Mutsuyani Given, SABC News, Alexandra.
With the academic year in full swing, it's all systems go for all children across the country. However, for some learners in underprivileged communities, the normal school curriculum is not enough as challenges of access to transport, inadequate resources, and a shortage of teaching staff, amongst others, puts a strain on the academic progression of learners. Meanwhile, some learners often take time to process information given, thus fall behind in the syllabus because of that.
This has prompted the rise of tutors who jump in and help such learners. But to what extent is the assistance and how beneficial can tutorials actually be to learners? To speak more on this growing trend, we have Davy Machaka, who is a tutor himself and a content creator, but you may know him as This Normal Boy. Also joining us is one of the learners who benefit from Davy's tutorials initiative, Khotso Totolbon. Welcome to the show, guys.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Good, good. How's everybody?
Yeah, I'm super fantastic.
Super. Yeah. All right, let's start with you, Davy.
Yes.
You were an average student, but by the time you went to grade 10, you went to a camp. And how did this change?
It actually changed dramatically because the reason I actually went to the camp is because I had passed with condone. And I was saying, you are repeating, and I was like, there's absolutely no way that I'm repeating.
Yes.
And then they were like, no, rather you go to the camp during the December time before you go to the grade 11,
yes,
where I learned the syllabus of first term and second term during the December time. And it actually helped a lot because by the time the teachers were teaching me back in school, I was already ahead of that. So it was something that I was repeating in a way.
Yes.
So that is how it actually helped.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said that you went into tutoring as into the career of tutoring later on in life. You say that you went into tutoring later on in life.
Yes.
How would you say, what are the benefits of having a tutor and which subject do you tutor?
Okay, not English. Okay, but to answer your question, how is tutoring actually helping? Because tutoring is more about, it's not exactly about taking the information towards the learners only. It's also about making them enjoy the learning thing. So how I actually tutor is what we call edutainment, teaching through the entertainment, because not everyone is actually going to understand some serious people. I mean, if we look at the teaching system at the moment, about 63% it's actually people who have been teaching in the old ages. We lack the youth of teachers in the department, so we come in as the tutoring to be the bridge in between for those who don't understand those and actually try to match the gap in between them.
Amazing, amazing. And going to Khotso, can you please tell us about your school journey? Which grade would you say opened your eyes to realizing that you want to do something different and thus going into getting a tutor?
I would say it's grade 11, because for my final in grade 11, I got 26 for physical sciences and 30-something for mathematics.
Yes.
And then I contacted Davy, and then he started helping me in December, so that grade 12, when I start, I could have something already. So then when I started grade 12, I gained more confidence in myself, and then I did a bit better, which was a 60% in the first term.
Yeah.
But coming from a 30, it was something wonderful.
Improvement.
Yes.
Improvement. Yes. Now, hearing your story, Davy, let's come to you. Tell us, how have parents or students received your services of tutoring? And if there are any challenges, what are those challenges?
Okay, in most cases, when I started, I was actually doing, I come back from home in Limpopo, Zavidiela.
Yes.
So I started by going to different schools around home. The reason I started doing that is because during the time I was in matric, that is something that I wish I could have had.
Yes.
And then I was like, now that I have an opportunity to can change what I wish could have changed back there, I ended up going there into changing it. And then from there, we started doing our tutoring online. So the challenges is some of them have network issues. They're coming from deep in the villages and all that. The Taba, the mountain, the different network, the village, the information.
Now, Khoza, back to you. We've heard your story. Tell us, what was your experience like? Take us through that journey. How's the experience of the tutoring, knowing that you increased your marks by 30% plus?
Okay, so I would say the edutainment, as he said, was the one that was most beneficial, because in class, the teacher is always serious. She doesn't have that time to play around and make jokes. So the way he would explain stuff, he would make jokes, he would make examples from real life scenarios. So that gets you more into the learning.
Absolutely.
So Davy, for those who might be interested in your service, how can they access it? Is it only online, or do you do in person as well?
I do in person, but it's actually limited in person because I only do in person most of the times during school holidays, whereby I just choose a certain school center and say, okay guys, we're gonna be teaching this and this and this for free at this certain institution, and then we meet there. But during the year, it's absolutely only online.
Okay.
Yes.
Khotso, you say that you've benefited from the tutorials. What would you say to others to encourage them to get involved in programs such as these?
I would say that even if tutorial services are not only for children who are lacking, even those who are getting 80s, so having a tutor helps you to boost more marks. So if you're getting 80 by yourself, you can get something like 90 if you have a tutor.
All right, thank you so much, guys. But because we do not have time, we'll catch up a bit later. Thank you so much for being with us. But for now, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to all our SABC2, SABC Lehigh, and of course SABC Plus viewers. Mustin Universe is set to host their first ever pageants here in South Africa, and they are set to host about 5 countries, which include the UK, USA, and Cuba, to name a few. The countries will be participating and representing their own countries on this year's pageants. Our producers caught up with them in Sandton to hear what they have more in store for the year.
Asifikanga sigalelekile siligqiza le Kids Newsroom right here at the Maslow Hotel in Sandton, Johannesburg. Igama lami ngumhlonhlo Buhle Geleba inzwakazi yaseMampondomiseni, and we are here to witness history in the making. It is the first time that South Africa will be hosting the Miss Teen Universe right here on our shores. Let's see what the glitz, the glamour, the boldness, and all of the teens from all across the globe have in store for us. Masio Babona.
The world-renowned Miss Teen Universe competition, which sees teenage beauty queens from around the world compete to win the ultimate teen crown, is set for a major comeback later this year. The pageant, which will take place right here at home in June, will feature girls aged from 15 to 21 years from across 5 continents taking part in various beauty queen activities. From the evening gown category, testing their interview skills with the judging panel, sponsor challenges, a talent show, and catwalk event, each girl will be judged based on their overall performance, style, and talents. The winner will be presented with the dazzling crown and coveted Miss Teen Universe 2024 title.
Pageantry motivates young girls, and they benefit so much in terms of their self-confidence. You know, a confident young lady or a confident woman can conquer the world, you know, can do anything and everything they believe that they can be able to do. So I believe that pageantry is very beneficial to young girls in South Africa, not only in South Africa, across the universe, because we're bringing the universe to South Africa, by the way.
We had an opportunity to talk to 3 reigning queens from Namibia, Cuba, and from our very own country, South Africa, who will be representing their countries at this year's pageant. And this is what they had to say.
Welcome to South Africa. How has it been so far?
It has been absolutely amazing. I've just only had warm welcomes all the time. I'm so excited to be here.
All right, now you are Miss Teen Universe Africa. Please tell us about your reign. How do you feel about it?
I feel so honored to be Miss Teen Universe Africa. Not only was I the first Namibian representative, but I was the first candidate to win the Africa title. I believe it's passion. Passion and dedication is the most important things that you need to hold on to your dreams.
It's a very humbling experience, and I've learned so much from my journey, and I've done so much charity work which builds me as a person, and seeing how many people I empower empowers me as well. So my foundation, Unamandla Isaho Entle Foundation, is a non-profitable foundation. So we focus more on education and changing behaviors in schools under the banner of positive mindset for a positive future.
Welcome to South Africa. How has it been since you've landed?
It's been amazing, the warm welcoming with the traditional dance, and I cannot wait to be back in November for more and to experience everything about South Africa. So my message is about being kind to others, being respectful and accepting of others. We shouldn't be discriminating anyone based off their skin color, their race, or gender. We are all, as a family, we should be uniting together and join together, and this is all about sisterhood, and this is what pageantry is about.
What a great initiative by the Miss Teen Universe organization. Good luck to all the contestants and make your countries proud.
South Africa's national team, Bafana Bafana, recently got everyone in excitement after their win against Morocco in the Africa Cup of Nations tournament. Our national team played against the Atlas Lions and scored 2-0, and thus qualified them to enter into the quarter-final leg of the game. Our producer, Liema Vumisa, takes us back to the national team's timeline in their AFCON tournament.
The year was 1996 at the FNB Stadium in Johannesburg, when Bafana Bafana, a Zulu word for the boys, made history as hosts and emerged first in an AFCON tournament. The match was against Cameroon, and the national team cruised to the top, leaving dust behind, with Phil Masinga, Mark Williams and John Mishwe being the players who hit the net, scoring 3-0. Jubilation was the order of the day across the spectrum, while igniting unity amongst fans. But that was short-lived. Turns out that would be the first and unfortunately the last time. Since 1996, the then yellow, green and white players would lose 3 opening matches, while 2 of those defeats came in the last 2 editions they participated in. Notably, South Africa also missed out on the 2010 and 2012 editions of the tournament. But promisingly, the thorn rose amongst the roses. Recently, our national team played.
Unfortunately, that is all we had time for, but do not miss out on Monday right here on SABC2 and all of our channels, SABC Plus as well as SABC Lihaye at 4:30. Mondays, we'll see you there.
That's right, Buhle. Catch us next Monday right here on SABC2 again at the same time slot, which is 4:30. But until then, tot ziens!